Back to our earlier story on the Riverlands dam collapse. Our reporter Nasiphi is on the ground and joins me now with more. Nasiphi, the community is now asking questions.
Indeed, the community is asking those questions, as we heard yesterday, that the dam that collapsed is responsible for by Public Works, National Department of Public Works. The community now taking stock of the damage caused by this flooding following that collapsed yesterday morning. They're now asking who is going to be footing the bill, saying that who is also going, or rather asking who also is going to be taking responsibility of this incident. Fortunately, no lives have been lost, but several people were injured following that flooding that we saw yesterday morning. However, yesterday as well, the MEC of Agriculture, Dr. Ivan Mayor, indicating that what happened in Riverlands was indeed a humanitarian crisis, and as much as humans have been impacted and private life, or rather private property, animals have also not been spared in this region of the Western Cape. And I'm joined now by Karina from the Swartland West Coast SPCA, who's an inspector there. But we're seeing a lot of animals, and behind us a number of residents coming forward, queuing at the SPCA Bakkie to pick up some food. Talk to us about perhaps the impact that this incident has had on the animals and livestock.
I think a lot of people don't realize the effect that animals actually has when there is a natural disaster, or there is a disaster, whether it's fire or flood. In an instance, we're always so quick to say the people, but a lot of these households has got animals, whether it's dogs or cats domesticated, or whether it's farm animals. A majority of these households in this area has got at least 2 dogs, and we've got a section here where there is small farmers as well, where there is sheep, goats, cattle, pigs, geese, and there's a lot of horses as well. So the community in this area where there is livestock as well as animals, they are quite fond on their animals. So a lot of these houses did have animals. The impact that we've seen, it's tremendous. It's something I personally have not seen in my career as a SPCA inspector. It came so quick, and a lot of the people are saying if it weren't for the animals, they would not have woken up, because the dogs and the horses, they ran around and they made noises and they woke the people up. So a lot of lives, I think, were saved in that instance by the animals as well. But unfortunately, a lot of animals are still misplaced. We are currently scouting the area, going into areas that's not been affected by the flood, but however, animals are looking for sheltered areas and they're moving to those areas. So we've got quite a big squad currently walking the area and seeing if we can find these misplaced animals.
Karina, how difficult is it to access these areas? Are you able to use your vans? Are you making your way in through walking?
Unfortunately, we tried with our vehicles. It did not work. We had to walk. So I'm currently averaging about 20,000 steps. It's quite a dense area. It's not soft terrain. We have to jump over where there's water streams. It's rocks. It's not your normal terrain, as there's been such a big flooding. Everything is displaced, whether it's bushes, whether it's wire. A lot of the fences is everywhere. So it is quite a slow walk that we have to take, but there's no way that you can get to these people, especially the people at the far back. That is before the road actually broke. Those people were affected quite badly. You can only walk by foot there. So getting food for the animals to them, getting water for the animals to them, it is quite a distance. So we're getting actually the community to help us so we can walk to them and give them food and water for the animals as well.
We're approaching over about 40 hours since the incident now. I know it might be still early to tell, but do we know how many animals have been displaced? Perhaps how many animals have been lost in the process?
Unfortunately, it's still unconfirmed. A lot of owners aren't here at the moment as well that can give us a tally of how many animals they actually have. A lot of people are actually still so traumatized they can't remember. I've got 20 cattle or I've got 10 cattle. It's really, this is something that's terrible on the people. It's traumatizing to them. So we are slowly going house by house where the people are there. We can speak with them and ask them, how much animals do you have? But unfortunately, we have not been able to get the full tally yet. So it's currently still unconfirmed, but we are still doing the rounds.
And Corinna, the queue that we see behind us, if you could just talk us through, we've seen a number of people making their way to the local primary school here where you guys have been assisting them. We understand that humanitarian relief has been at the core following the recovery process and the mop-up operations. But what kind of relief are you providing to residents here that have been affected?
The current relief that we can provide, what we're currently doing is seeing behind me the vehicle with the people standing in queue. We've been fortunate enough by the community that's donating cat and food, dog and cat food for the community members. This is specifically the areas that's been affected quite badly, where the houses has been completely swept away, where the current food stock has been swept away, and everything is lying in the field. There was one farmer that showed me, I've got food for my animals, it's just lying in the fields and I can't access it or I can't eat it, it's soaking wet. So the relief we're currently giving is at least food and water, a basic need for the animals. We're helping some of the farmers out there to rebuild their structures. So we're trying to at least see to the animals' basic needs, that is currently being taken care for. However, we are still asking for a lot of donations. A lot of this has been footed by the Swartland West Coast and as well as the Cape of Good Hope SPCA, coming out of their own archives, the food that's currently here. So we are still asking for donations from the community to please assist us, because we all still have animals at our own kennels we need to care for, but our main priority now is the animals in the Riverlands area.
We were speaking with Gift of the Givers earlier, saying they're going to be also providing clean water to the residents, you know, with the infrastructure also damaged, estimating that it might even take more than a week before people have access to water. How long are you guys going to be able to provide this relief and assistance to residents?
We're here every day since, and we will continue being here up until we at least know every property we've been to, every animal we've seen to has been relieved, has been catered for his basic needs. So we will continue. Obviously, our staff will become less as we have got other duties as well, but we will continue to have feet on the ground and obviously go and have a look around and speak to the community and keep on liaising with the community where we can have a further tally that we know the day we leave here is the day that at least we know the people are back on their feet again, where they can care for the animals by themselves without the need of the SPCA.
That is Karina there from the Swartland West Coast SPCA, an inspector there, talking to us about the impact that the dam collapse has had on the animals, whether domestic or even livestock, saying that they will be here right up until the end when they can see that people are able to then care for their animals. We spoke to some residents up where there has been extensive damage, saying that there are quite a number of animals in this community. We heard from the MEC yesterday saying this area, rather the Swartland municipality, there's a lot of agriculture taking place, and that livestock, including crops, have also been impacted by this outside of the private property. And not too long ago, we also spoke to two people that survived that strong current, saying that they were fortunate enough to be stopped about 500 meters from where the current took them, and they stopped at the railway track, which is right behind us, about 500 meters from their home. They were taken to hospital, and fortunately for today they were released and back home. We will be speaking to authorities as the day progresses as well, as we do understand that they are still monitoring those dams. Earlier on this morning, officials also indicating that they are currently opening the valves of the 4 dams, ensuring that they are at safe levels and capacity as well. But Vuyo, that clip that we played before the live crossing of one of the residents, also indicating that there has been a few alarm bells that have been raised by residents over the last couple of years regarding those dams, in particular the maintenance of those dams. And once again, residents asking who's going to be taking blame when it comes to the collapse of that dam wall that has led to this trail of destruction in this community, people losing their hard-earned stuff, cars, furniture, including, their structures as well. Yesterday, seeing a Wendy house that moved a couple of meters and fortunately stopped by an electricity pole. And again, people not having access to water and electricity in this community because of the strong current of that water that made its way down down all the way from about 3 kilometers from here to this very community.